You hit stream to your audience, whatever, if you can.
Okay, it should be letting me. That's so weird. So I had it all set up to stream
Oh,
on Facebook,
no, you don't.
YouTube,
No, you don't. You messed up. I see what you did.
Twitter.
Yeah, it says live tomorrow. You had the wrong date. Love you.
How is that possible when I had every other one scheduled fine?
I don't know. I mean, you can go in and set them up individually after you do that, but yeah.
You know I did not do that.
Okay. I don't know, man. That's weird. And I'm still not seeing it live on YouTube, Warrior.
But Warrior says now it's working. So he sees it.
I still see it live in 23 hours, April 3rd at 4 p.m.
And it's for me and you, or that's for Dr. McDaniel?
Ace Man, oh, Dr. McDaniel.
That's Dr. McDaniel. Yeah, we had to reschedule. So I had that one just sitting and I just forwarded the time.
Yeah, there's nothing here for today. You got
Well, there's Nana and JB Rants, Ron.
are you guys on YouTube?
I think they're on YouTube. I see the little red.
Here it is, True Tuesday. It wasn't in your lives, but it's here. There we go. Well, I was wondering why my comment wasn't showing.
Well, so that was one of the stories was that the and I don't want to get these two things conflated because one of them is that like Facebook sold people's information to or their communications, their private messages to Netflix. And then another story was that your YouTube viewing was being sent to the FBI.
That was interesting. I read that what you sent to me. And that I'm going over that when we go to my channel. Just
okay.
Basically, free speech is gone. It's dead. Just paper, which all of our rights, it's all just paper. The only one that's not is the Second Amendment. That's why they fear it so bad because they have no control over that one. You know what I mean? You can literally you can't fight back about speech. You can't fight back about the press. Just ask Julian Assange. You can say, "Here, that's illegal," while they send you to Guantanamo. You can't.
Well,
you can't.
And that's what even right now. So Trump was fighting or in the fight or awarded his First Amendment. So they got rid of the gag stuff, but they're still, persecuting him. Then Assange recently had that court case, which bumped it down the road 3 weeks. But Greg was saying he was awarded his First Amendment rights during that case. And so I thought, okay, we're going to have some.
Well, that's what I thought too. Like they're going to
Which we have had a lot of stuff come out.
He did not go to the Capitol building. All they're saying is when he gave that speech down the road, he whipped everybody up and told them to go do that. But he said peacefully, and then under free speech, that was that. But people should have the right to assemble. If you were just there, you're in trouble. They went and talked to public. They went through people's phones. They did so much just for people that didn't go in, but that just were there peacefully assembling.
JB's trying to give you a heads up. Apparently, they switched your settings to say that it was made for kids, so there's no chat on your channel or something.
Huh?
I don't know. That's what JB said. I don't know. Things are so crazy. Like,
it is.
I am able to call my mother though now. I haven't been able to call my mom for a couple of years. I could text her and she could call me or vice versa. I can't remember. And I'm now able to call my mother. But they're telling everybody. So I have a friend who she said she's gotten several notices or emails saying that, her information was shared in one or more of these hacks. The big hospital hack we talked about, I think last summer, that happened. Do what?
It did say made for kids.
Isn't that weird?
That is
weird. Yeah, mom says, okay, no, you could call, but I couldn't call you. Okay. Yeah. So she'd have to text me and then I would call her.
It should be fixed now.
Okay. Um, so just a lot of crazy, crazy stuff, and lots of hacks. She also got there was, I guess, the largest hack from AT on AT&T for current and former customers, um, that and then your information was sold or put out on the dark web was the notification. And so that's pretty much all of America. If you've ever been or are currently an AT&T customer, um, it's just not good at all. Um, so yeah, we're having crazy weather here too. Lots of storms, which I guess that's typical for Oklahoma. In April, we get tornadoes and stuff like that. That's normal. So not too crazy, but there was. I wanted to talk about Uncle Cliff gave the nod. So in his WebBot data, he's been talking about this Israeli mistake, and that was it's from old Alta reports, and that's a trigger for I don't know what, but we need to find out what
What?
the Israeli mistake is in the Alta. It's like a data point or whatever or trigger, and apparently they bombed Syria, and Iran is not happy about it. And right? Am I saying that the right way? I think that's correct. I'm trying to go off memory as I find this. Yeah, and so they vow to what the media is saying is they vow to avenge Syria. However, that's not what the Iranian Shah or president or whatever his designation is. He said they would make the Zionists pay for it. And they're going to come after they blame the Zionists. And as you have made me aware of, that many of our congressmen and women hold dual citizenship in Israel, and many claim to be Zionists. And there's we discussed it here, talking about how when JFK wanted to call out the individuals in Congress and said, you need to identify yourself if you are Zionist.
Mm.
And that's right about the time they knocked him off. And so I think this could be something much bigger than what America has any idea what might be coming for them.
There's something out we'll go over on my channel, but it goes along with this with a big mistake, and the red heifer thing. But I mean, Iran in most places just view all Jews as Zionists. They're just which I can understand. If you go to Yemen or ask those people if me and you are evil, they're gonna say, hell yeah, you guys killed my kid. Yeah, those people they're terrible.
They're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's the same way we are. If we go to war with a country, it's everybody. We go to war with the country, and we're told to defend our country. If someone comes over here, we should all fight. So it's all a mess, man. It's all a mess.
It is all a mess. An update on apparently the scientists made a mistake. Cosmic miscalculations. They corrected the map, and they will reveal an eclipse cutting through. They've moved the pathway east quite a bit. So all those people that got hotel rooms years in advance and all that, I'm sure are going to be really pissed. But they'll have to take it up with the sun. There is a video. There's a charming fellow, John D. Rockefeller, straight evil, that I wanted to show you.
Okay.
Here it is. Okay, this is I
know.
Jordan Michael Scallion was a futurist, spiritualist, and self-proclaimed prophet who had an awakening after losing his ability to speak and becoming restricted to a hospital bed. During that time, he had a vision of a lady who told him apocalyptic earthquakes and astronomical events who would reshape the earth after he healed from his strange condition. He made this map. Okay, so this map, you notice all the water, and then this landmass popping up over here, which is interesting, and the Mississippi flooding and all this. And apparently, this has something to do with like Yosemite volcanoes maybe erupting or something. I'm not really sure, but there was a video that my husband's friend sent. My husband's friend sent to him, and he said when he went to the Navy, it was on the ship in the war room. This map, and they were like briefed on it or whatever and talked about the possibilities of this, and that it would cause when and if this situation happened, it would it's something about like earthquakes and volcanoes and something happening to cause a polar shift, just enough, so many degrees of a polar shift or pole shift. And
Did you try
that
doing a reverse photo search on Google to see where that comes from, or other
Mm,
articles on it?
no, I just got home. Don't have time for that. Um, let's see. And then here's another video that I found about it, them talking about earthquakes that might happen. There was another video um, where somebody was talking about, yeah, this is like the full size one of the Earth. There was another one that put some things together talking about the meteor coming. And so the sound that's expected to come with a meteor. Do you remember last year? I think it was last year when people were like reporting these weird aching or screaming or moaning sounds and they didn't know where it was coming from or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's when meteors come in or nearby, they can make these sounds or noises. Um, which now I'm realizing that one of the videos I posted while I was at school today, which I wasn't supposed to, is missing from this. Oh, here, future US Navy map. This is the one. Come on. Oh, come on. That's it.
You're probably gonna get hit for copyright on
Oh,
that.
I'm sure I will. I'm always a bad girl. Somehow I got on a thread. This was today, which I don't want to get off on another tangent, but there was some serious indoctrination happening at our homeschool today. Um, they had the kids singing on September 11th, terrorist.
What?
You can't see this, can you?
No.
Take on in Washington, D.C. The fourth plane crashed into a Pennsylvania field on September 11, 2001.
They're like lying to these kids.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's super creepy.
I've changed my view on the Pledge of Allegiance. I think it's bad.
I'm partially with you because I feel like you're forcing children to it's
It's
almost like
very
a chant
socialist.
or ritual.
It is, but it's also very socialist. It came from
Oh.
the guy that started it was and wrote it was a huge socialist. I watched this the thing on the guy from Black Rifle Coffee. He said back then, like when it's like the Socialist Party was huge. It wasn't like bad or it was like the Democrats, the Republicans, the Socialists. They were like the same thing. It was just more socialist. They wanted,
Mhm.
all the programs and stuff like that, which that's what, kind of the Democrats are now. But he was a huge socialist. It was an indoctrination thing. He's the
Yeah,
one.
because the kids don't even understand what they're saying. They're just
They don't know what indivisible
Google
is.
vomiting.
Yeah.
It's not a pledge. They're not pledging anything. They're doing what they're told. They're repeating these words.
Also, it's
Stand there, save this, move your
just what
hand.
we've said. It's government schools. It's indoctrination camp. It's
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing if you want to, once you understand what America
It
is,
should be a bigger deal. Like you should know
it
what
should
it
be.
is. You should be like, I pledge allegiance to this country. I'll defend it. Blah, blah. But when you're, 7, 6, you don't know.
No, that's true. Like when the people that go through citizenship classes, like I can see where that's really moving and powerful because they've gone through, which that's probably another form of indoctrination, to be honest. But they've gone through at least, they're adults and made a conscious decision to be a part of something. So
Yeah.
I think that's really
The people
important.
that do go through that process, most of them they know more about U.S. history than most Americans. They know more because they have to learn it. But the school thing is getting bad. It's getting real bad.
Mhm.
But I'm starting to see a lot of, their plans come to fruition. And it's like, oh, that's why they did that. Oh, that's why they did that. And at the time, we're like, this is just stupid. This is crazy. But then later on, because they do think, years ahead, decades ahead, they don't even think about stuff in their lifetime. So like, okay, I'll do this. My son could do this. My grandkids will be able to finish it. That's how they plan.
Mhm. This gives me a little bit of hope, though. Apparently, the U.S. surgeon quietly stopped supporting water fluoridation about 5 years ago. That was news to me. And I did want to tell everybody that a friend of mine, her husband's a doctor, um, and she said that their accountant, so he runs a hospital or runs a clinic or something, or multiple hospitals. I'm not really sure, but he also has private practice. And so his accountant said, "Hey, I need to give you a heads up. Like, insurance isn't paying anymore. Like, so doctors are still billing and they're taking whatever, like copay or whatever you give, but all insurance companies have stopped paying about 5 weeks ago." And this is like nationally, and no one's talking about it. So I told her, I said, "Well, that's really interesting because so my son is on, my youngest is on state Medicaid because he's adopted. Um, and so they switched us or his coverage without my permission um, on April 1st and said that he's going to have this new program, this new coverage, and they're sending me information with it and whatever." And I said, "Well, I didn't consent to that." And she's like, "Oh, well, you had a time to opt in and choose your provider. And since you didn't, we just assigned him someone and it's all going to be new. It should be covering, whatever." But
I don't think insurance companies stop paying.
they did.
They're so
They have.
heavily regulated that can't happen. There's so many things put in place, so many agencies.
If we're getting rid of the middleman, if you're going to have to, just like with the realtor thing, where they got sued and now you have to negotiate with your realtor. There's not the MLS or whatever they were called, or the people that created MLS, that they created this arbitrary 6% thing and said, well, the buyer's going to pay the seller's fee. That's been thrown out. And so now if you hire a realtor to sell your home, you negotiate with the realtor whatever percentage or however you're going to pay them. And then if someone is buying a home, they negotiate with their realtor if they choose to use a realtor, and they negotiate that. We're going to a peer-to-peer world. That is what I believe. And I think it's going to be the same thing with our physicians. I think all of it.
That's probably state, because most insurance and real estate stuff, it's all state regulated, state licenses.
Well, it was MLS, so I believe that's nationwide, but I'd have to double check that. But interesting stuff. Lots and lots and lots of interesting stuff going on. The highway fell away in California, which is like more strange things. I had a bunch of people sending me stuff about like the Chinese invading from Canada. I don't know if that's just like fear porn or if that's true. But Uncle Cliff was saying it. So he said this is not a drill. Chinese soldiers. Am I sharing it? No, I'm not. Guess it was an Alex Jones thing.
Nominally protected. They're not. Obviously, the Border Patrol on the U.S. side just lets people come and go, and the Canadians do as well.
I reached out recently to Michael because I had been following him for quite some time as well. And, you know, Michael and I started conversing. He was planning a trip to Canada, so I invited him here and I've taken him around. We've seen some interesting things here in southern Ontario where we are, including all the way to the Niagara region. And for me, it's just a big deal that somebody like Michael and Misako would come to Canada, because it's one of the things I've been trying to do is get people's attention south of the border to start saying, listen, it's not just the Mexican-American border that you have to keep an eye on. It's the Canadian border as well. And not only just the Canadian border, but I think more importantly, you need to pay attention to the government of Canada at the federal level and even the provincial level. But you really need to start paying attention to what's happening north of America, because you can't trust this government here. And there is a mass invasion of people coming up from the south.
One thing that's very important, the rumors about the Chinese military training with the Canadian military are actually true.
This is something that has been going on for a number of years. The story broke.
We don't have to listen to all 28 minutes of that. Sean was telling us about that quite a while back. But
there's a lot of Chinese people in Canada, and they're affluent, very affluent, wealthy Chinese people in Canada.
Which they wouldn't be fighting if they're the affluent.
Well, honestly, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that happening at all.
Really?
Yeah. An invasion? Come on. Wolverines, dude. All those states up there, there's no way they can have enough people to do an actual invasion, like storm the beach. They're dead. They're dead. They won't be able to bring in enough people. Even if it was 100,000, still don't care. 100,000, don't care. They're not going to do crap. And Canada would have to. It would literally be in a pincer, because Canada would be like, "Oh, we messed up. Sorry. We'll shoot them in the back. You shoot them in the front. Please don't come after us, U.S."
Mm-hmm.
It's like Red Dawn. It's not gonna.
I love that you're pumping the hopium today. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's what they. I mean, who was it? Was it Japanese or the emperor? No, that general. So you can't invade America. There's a gun behind every blade of grass.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if things happen where Americans are disarmed, or left with a single shotgun or some crap like that, completely different scenario.
That'll never happen. Yeah.
No.
Before we jump over to your channel, I wanted to let everybody know we created the new t-shirts for Team Mighty. They are only going to be available for 2 weeks for purchase, because we want everybody to have them no later than May 1st. Even though the party is on April 20th, that's just the way Custom Ink works. I can't get them to people any faster than that. So they're only $20 this year. I tried to keep the cost down just with everybody going through all of this together. But we want to get the most help we can for Mighty Miller. So these are the Team Mighty shirts. for this year. I think they're pretty cool. And will it show an example of? I guess it just shows the thingy. Oh, return to campaign. That was after I bought a bunch of shirts. Okay. So here are the Team Mighty shirts. Superhero, be a superhero, buy a shirt, life, freedom, and happiness. And then we can hopefully have some more meetups this summer and we'll be able to wear those. And I'll be wearing mine on Fridays for sure for happy hour. And that's a great way you can help if you aren't able to come, or if you are, buy a shirt and then you can get a ticket. There's links in the description of this video on YouTube to purchase a shirt and help out, support Mighty Miller's family as he's fighting cancer and getting treatment in Tennessee and has to be away from his family. So I'd appreciate it. All right. I think that was mostly everything, kind of moving fast and quick.
Jump over.
I think so. I'll jump with you. You guys jump with us, and I'll see you guys over at Satoshi Sean's channel right after
Oh,
this.
you.